today's edition, we are going to discuss about the OIC Summit, which is to be held in the Gambia. We are going to discuss about the impacts and the importance of it and how it's going to benefit the Gambians as it's been given to the Gambians. They should be able to take care of it as their own. But in the studio right here, I am with my co-host. I would like him to introduce himself. And my name is Awatal for today's edition. Welcome to the program.
Yes, hello, greetings to all our wonderful viewers out there. Welcome to yet another beautiful edition of Genius Margin Education and Business TV Online Radio. My name is Bob Godfrey, and I'm serving as the co-host today with my able boss in the studio here, who goes by the name Avatar. Indeed, I'm definitely grateful to be part of this wonderful session today. It's definitely a very good privilege, and I hope that our viewers out there will definitely learn from this beautiful session. I thank you for that.
Thank you very much for that answer. But without wasting much time, we would like to dive into the program. Today, can you please tell us the history of OIC in the summit?
Thank you very much, my able boss, Avatar. With reference to the brief history of the OIC, I'll first start with the name, because I believe most of the people are just used to the acronym that is OIC, but they don't even know in details what does the OIC stands for. When we talk about OIC, it stands for Organizations Islamic Cooperation. But this is just the last name that is being given to it, because by then there was a name which was given to OIC. Okay. It wasn't only Organization Islamic Cooperation, but then the name that was given to it was Organization of Islamic Conference. It was conference that was first given to it instead of what we call as cooperation. It was later in the 2011 at the 38th session that was held. That was the time that the name was changed from OIC, that stands for Organization of Islamic Conference, to Organization of Islamic Cooperation. So briefly about the name of the OIC, this is what the OIC stands for. So to talk about the history of the OIC, it was initiated in the year 1969. Yeah, the headquarters is at Jeddah, that is in Saudi Arabia. Most of the time, the OIC is always headed by what we call a Secretary General. In the year of its establishment, the first Secretary General of the OIC goes by the name Tunku Abdurrahman, was the first OIC. So every 5 years, there used to be a change from one Secretary General to this other one. And currently, as we're speaking, from from 17th of November 2022, currently, the Secretary General that is there, who is heading the OIC, is by the name Hussein Brahim. He's the current Secretary General of the OIC. So like you realize, the first OIC summit was held in the 3rd of September. That was in 1969 in Rabat of Morocco. And then the second was held in Lahore. And then currently, we are now having what we call the 15th OIC summit that is going to be held here in the country. So you realize that alongside the changes on the years on which the OIC is to be held is always every 3 years. That is then wherein they will decide where this OIC summit will be held. And now finally, thank God that it has
Gambia is part to be in the local countries where OIC is to be held.
Yeah, definitely, because we have realized this fact that it has started even from our neighboring country. Senegal was even fortunate to host it well before us, and from a post that was on Gambia, rightly mentioned, like since in the time of the ex-president, who was was about to host it. But for the fact that, when they went for the summit, then it was finally, they agreed that, that it be given to Senegal. So we have realized that, a lot of countries were fortunate to host it. Because in particular, when you talk about this OIC, it's not only the Gambia that is part of it. Yeah, it is comprises of what we call about 57 countries that are part of this big, OIC session. So that is just to tell us in brief that, this OIC is not just a child play, but it's something that is very much, of essence. So like, I would love to cut it short, because hence it's just a brief history. Yeah, that is to talk about, the stand of the OIC. So in brief, this is what I have about the brief history of the OIC Summit.
Basically, Gambians would agree that the OIC Summit would be held in the Gambia. How do you see that?
Yes, basically, as you mentioned, hence the day is just, I will not even say it's near, but already we are
almost
obviously, because we now just have exactly just 2 days.
Just to get to the day.
Obviously, to read to the So obviously, that will tell us that our preparations towards the IIC is,
OIC
yeah, is
Summit,
definitely
yeah.
on high gear. Yeah, for the fact that, from a press release on the secretariat of the OIC, they have made mention about this entire OIC. Their project is basically set up on 5 aspects. Yeah. So to name these 5 aspects, we have first, that is the conference center. Because this OIC, whenever that they are coming to the country, the first place that they will be, where the event will take place is going to be the conference center, which is at the Sada of the Karaba Conference Center. So that is the area whereby, this summit is going to be held. And then the second area of their focus is the road infrastructure. And hence we have seen that, the road infrastructure is also currently ongoing. Though the main areas, are already being set up. Like, if you go to the area of the Costa Road Airport Junction, you have seen all those roads towards the turntable. Yeah, further, we have seen all those areas towards the OIC, because I believe even though the visitors that are coming, their center of focus will be that area, the domain of the, on the high road. And then I believe, in that aspect too, thank God that, the Gambia has done justice, even not too fully, because as they always said, like, this OIC is not necessary that everything has to be set intact.
Sure.
But like, we are optimistic that at least 75% of the entire, project is being done. Because like I said, starting with the OIC conference center, that one is being done and dusted. Still, there were events, in fact, several events that has already taken place in that place.
Okay.
So that is just to tell us that, in the aspect of the conference center is definitely set up.
Yeah, but like we have seen before, we have seen people going out cleaning the streets and then just to welcome the OIC summit. How beautiful is that? Because to see people coming out and then forming the uniformity, not saying this is about politics. It's not about politics because they feel that it's our country and we have to do it. We should not wait for somebody to come and do it for us. So nothing should be related to politics in terms of that. How do you see it?
Yeah, indeed, about the preparation that I geared towards hosting the OIC. Oh, just kindly before I delve into that, because I have started about the 5 projects that the country is definitely working towards to complete.
Sure.
Yeah, that will determine about our standards, whether we are fit as a nation to be able to host the OIC summit or not. Like I just mentioned, the 2 aspects, that is the road, and then the conference center. We have the third, that is the airport, and the old terminals. We have seen that, the old terminals are also being renovated. Yeah, so all those issues are also very concerned areas, which are 3. And then the fourth will be about the VIP cars, yeah, and their delegate transportation. We have seen from a post on What's on Gambia that, the president has handed over the keys that will serve as the VIP cars to the delegates that are coming to the country from the Espas Motors in Westfield. So the keys are already been, submitted or given to the people that are concerned, the authorities that are concerned, that will be responsible for hosting the visitors here in the country. And then finally, their other, last project will be the 5-star hotel. Wow. And we have also seen that, these people have definitely, been working hand in glove to make sure that the 5-star hotel is also being done. So basically about this entire project of the OIC Summit, these are the 5 main domains in which this country is been focusing. Thank you. Before I conclude whether the Gambia is ready to host this or not, we definitely have to delve into these 5 aspects. Sure. And I have seen that, like I made mention, even not 100%, but at least 95% of it is being done as with justice.
Oh, thank you very much for those answers. But yeah, I would like to ask you, because roads are built in the Gambia. That doesn't mean that when it's been done by somebody else, we have to misuse it. We have to take it as our own. So what do you have to say on that?
Basically about these issues of the road, it will be said like you made mention, these issues are not things that are in relation to what we call politics.
Definitely.
Yeah, so I believe these are issues that the country of the Gambia has been yearning for years ago. Sure. So I believe if we are fortunate enough to be, like I always said, this, for you to be able to host this summit, like it's always a privilege. It's not like, we are the biggest country, because if you have seen, Gambia is one of the smallest countries in West Africa, and it's been fortunate to be able to host this OIC. So obviously, if you are privileged enough to be able to have this advantage to hold this OIC summit, which led, to the establishment of these new feeder routes, I don't obviously think that Gambians should be of that stand. That will be people, that will not take good care of these very available roads. Because to my notice, I have been tracking path, in this, especially this flyover. We have realized that, some fullers and some jollers that are not used to these flyovers will tell you that if you are using the flyovers, it finishes your fuel. Yeah, but not in the less, what we just gonna realize is that, these are issues that have new development. So like, you realize at times that not, going over the flyover will even cause blockage to the traffic. Sure. So all those issues are things that are serving as a threat to the smooth passage of this road. So just to cut it short, let us make sure that we make the best use of this road, and let us always see it as our own. It should not only be seen as the government's own, because it's not only the government officers that are going to trek on the road, but even the citizens as well.
But you will see that when roads are under construction, like when you go around turntable to Bajara traffic light, you would see that if you like roads that they construct already, they don't have junctions where cars have to curve. At least sometimes when you come up to Nema Junction, just around Costa Rica here, the car have to move up to Costa Rica and then turn back. And then that will cost a lot of time, because when there had been a junction, you will see that the car can easily turn down and head to the place. But I think, yeah, it might cost a delay of time.
Yeah, that's the portion to note definitely in that aspect too, about the fact of the routes being long, wherein that you cannot even have a branch. To talk about this issue, it has to be seen from two aspects.
Sure.
Yeah, that is the the pros and then the cons aspect.
Can you brief us about it?
Okay, like if we check on in the pros, the advantage that they will have, like if you see them not providing junctions on the highway, like their biggest fear is the fact of causing accidents, because we have realized that some drivers are very much reckless in terms of driving. So like whenever that we have seen short junctions, in the long run, even a vehicle is coming, and this is a three-way lane. Yeah, so whenever that is a three-lane way, if you are about to curve, like your focus might only be on one lane whether a vehicle is coming or not. So forgetting about the other two lanes, which might easily cause accident. So this is why the people that are constructing, that is the RX, the company that have been given, and other bodies that are responsible to make sure that the roads have been established. Yeah, they make sure that the roads is not just easily being curved, except that if you go to the roundabouts, that is the only areas that you can be able to curve.
So meaning they are minding also the interests of the people, not just like when you are making something, you have to consider both sides, or you just have to do what is right, because when you make something, there must be judgments. People will say their opinions, what favors them, but you have to do what is right. I think that is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
What you have just said is true, because you are making something. You are not only seeing the present, but you're also thinking about the future. I believe that's right. And then perhaps what impact does it have?
Okay. On the other aspect of the fact of how the roads have been constructed, like the other aspect will be like the bottlenecks that it causes. Like you mentioned also, it causes things like time consuming. Okay. And not only time consuming, it's not only about the bridge that is in between the two roads, but like the fact that you also realize there's also another railway that has been constructed alongside of the highway. That railway, purposely is for in case that if a vehicle happens to overspeed and all of a sudden before you are able to leave the highway, then you just go and then jam the railway, vehicle block you. But like you realize that despite the fact that it's a three-lane highway, you realize that those railways that are also there, they are also blocking some other junctions whereby people will also be using. So you'll also realize that in those aspects too, it also requires you to go till a junction. Because others, they have to trek maybe 3 to 4 junctions. You will be able to have that curve that you will be trekking to your side. So like you're saying, like this is not only about one interest, whether it be in the government and then basically what we realize is that when we talk about the government, they are there to serve the welfare or the interest of the country. So obviously they have to make sure that they look on both aspects to make sure that what is necessarily important is being done.
The positive side of it also is important.
Yeah, like
the construction is really beautiful. When you stand on it, you see the view of the Gambia. It's definitely amazing to have those kind of things.
Yeah, sure. Those are definitely issues that are of essence. For the first time in the country that we are realizing, such issues or areas.
Definitely.
Yeah. So, but like still on another thread of it, like you realize that if you go to the areas of the roundabouts, yeah, frequently I used to take these highways, using a vehicle. Because I used to realize, some of the bottlenecks that I and my fellow drivers used to face on this highway. Because you will realize that if you reach at this roundabout, at times you will find that there will be police officers on the highway. At times, if you reach there, you will not find any police officer on the highway there. So thereby, if you read the traffic, it's always jam-packed.
But I think that can be solved, like, because it's a roundabout. Yeah. So I don't think drivers should be driving speed, because it's a roundabout. Different cars come to meet together. So I think it would have been better to do easy and easy, not to cause any problem. Everybody goes their ways. You go where you want to go.
Yeah, on the effects of the roundabout, it's not necessarily about the drivers overspeeding, but the fact that if you reach at the roundabout, it's always jam packed. Because if this is a roundabout, you realize that some vehicles will be coming this way, others will come in this way, others will be coming this way, others will be coming on the four aspect of it.
So mean the police have to be there to
Obviously,
direct
to
the
coordinate.
vehicles.
Yeah, even not actually only a police officer, but at least we need a traffic light there, wherein that it will signal the people that should pass, to cordially, make sure that things go smoothly.
But I think they will consider that as the construction is going on.
Yes, hopefully, I believe those things will be future plans of the
Sure,
government here. So I believe also it's very much of essence that people air it out so that those issues will be put in the consideration,
Definitely.
for better use. But in reference to the beauty about the whole issue is
It's
definitely,
definitely amazing.
obviously I
It's
catching to,
definitely amazing.
yeah, for sure.
But before we end the program today, what advice do you have for the people? Because we are welcoming the OIC Summit right here in the Gambia, and we expect people to welcome it nicely, to accept it and appreciate it as our own. Let it not be associated with politics, because this has nothing to do with politics. And you will see that different countries are going, up to 57 countries are going just to uphold this OIC Summit.
Basically, before going to the conclusory part, I'll just first of all start with the welcoming aspect. As you did ask me, you have seen people, about the cleansing exercise that I've been doing, and the others and the likes. Definitely, it's of essence, as you made mention, that this OIC summit is for the Gambians. I would say, for the fact that we are the host, so the success and then the unsuccess of this very particular
Depends to us.
obviously depends to us as a nation.
Definitely.
So if we are able to showcase our talents, we welcome these people that are coming. The good credits will go to the nation. They won't say the president. So if people are seeing these issues as being apolitic or affiliating it with politics, will be something that will definitely hinder our, success as a nation. Yeah, because if this credit comes, it's definitely going to be to the country. So let people not always see this as things that are related to politics. And definitely everybody should make sure that you commit yourself to partake, no matter how little it might be. Whether it will be in the aspect of sensitizing people. And then obviously, we just have just 2 more days to go. I even believe no matter how prepared and then the citizens are, obviously, our preparation should be of more high gears than it was. Yeah, because as we are going every day, a day has been subtracted. And now we are just only left with 2 days for the event. Though we have realized that, the other time the NRA was doing a load cleansing. And then, we have seen in the aspect of around the airport gate, there were some decorations that were made on painting here and there. So obviously, and then in the aspect too, you have realized that, even there are some artists that are making, because you always believe those people are public, icons or celebrities, we call them. So that whenever they speak to the people will be aware. So we have seen them, making songs and then sensitizing people on the coming of this OIC. So I definitely believe, in the aspect of the people, they are definitely trying to make sure that, we beautifully host this OIC summit and then also make sure that, it becomes a success.
To come in, not to cut you, sorry, but I believe that going outside, cleaning your environment, making it so nice and healthy. This Gambians should not only wait until if there is an event to clean the environment. I think this has to be something that we have to be doing, as it has been in the Gambia for past years. You will see, until it will given a name like Setsetal Samedi Buneka, people do Setsetal. And this motivates and encourages people a lot to be having a healthy environment. It's really good to be having those kind of things. At least, not only through when there is an event, this has to be done. You understand? It will promote the health of the people. Yeah.
Okay. Basically about that response, I'll start with the quotation that cleanliness is next to godliness.
Sure.
So I believe cleanliness has to be everybody's main concern and main priority too. To make sure that we have cleanliness from our own personal hygienes, towards the environment and whatever that we have to deal with, whether directly or indirectly.
Definitely.
Yeah, what you're saying is also something that is very much crucial. Though we have seen that the preparations are definitely of high gear. I think those issues will be due to the happiness that is being considered in the hearts of the
I
people.
believe that.
Yeah, but like you made mention, that aspect of cleanliness should not only stop at this OIC summit. Though most of this cleanliness, though we realize that, in the environment, we used to realize that there is always dust particles here and there. But like most of these environments too, cleansing is centered or is focused on most of the highway, wherein that the construction of the roads are being undertaken. So I therefore believe that in that aspect, therefore it was that that cleansing exercise is being done. But like with the environment too, it's definitely also going to make things eye catching. Because like you will not love that your host to come and then find your place being dirty. I think no matter how that we used to clean it, we may still have to make sure that the place becomes more cleaner and then more hygiene than it was before. And then like we try to introduce issues of the past, like you mentioned the issues like sexual here and there. I think those are issues that definitely helps the country to be able to gain that hygiene and that cleanliness as a nation.